Dragon Nest was unfortunately an MMO that I enjoyed after its prime. After the larger PvP scene had died down, once the game had become riddled with pay to win and the vast majority of players had abandoned it. This was one of the best PvPvE MMOs on the market for years, and to date, people will continue to tell you tales of the events that transpired while playing it over a decade ago. But just because I enjoyed it, it doesn't mean it is still enjoyable in 2024. It doesn't mean that currently it has the same content cadence that it did years ago. In all honesty, it might not even be receiving updates, which is where we come in today. I played Dragon Nest every single year since 2018. I also subsequently did videos on Dragon Nest for pretty much every single year, documenting my experience in Dragon Nest every single year since 2018. And I could definitely do a video on it again, stating why this game is the exact same game it has been for the last several years that I've played it. Because, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, it really hasn't changed. But I think that would be a waste of your time and mine. What I wanna do is instead talk about what has been done over the course of the last year and where it's currently going, because it might not survive into 2025. More and more MMOs shut down year after year, and no one knows which game is going to be next. Before we delve into Dragon Nest, however, allow me to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon. Your guys' support is why I can continue to make videos like this every single month, and I deeply appreciate you all being there for me. I wanted to get a gauge of how Dragon Nest was doing in 2024 by looking at player numbers, by looking at engagement, by looking at the community. With this in mind, I went to social media to get a rough estimate of community size and activity. My first stop was Steam. There was a 1,786 player peak 12 years ago, with a 16 player peak within the last 24 hours, and 5 players logged in currently during peak hours. But Steam is just one method with which to access the game. Many players do log in directly by passing Steam altogether, but not nearly enough where the numbers would be magnified by hundreds of times to bring these numbers to any semblance of alive. Supposedly though, the Southeast Asian and the European regions are more populated than the North American servers, which the Steam version does not cater to. Next, I proceeded to check Twitter, get a gauge of how frequently the team engages with their community, and it seems as though they post updates on when there's maintenance, which admittedly do get like a like or two, but otherwise they go relatively unnoticed and would lead you to believe that they're pretty uncommunicative. Heading on over to Facebook, it seems as though there are 2 different pages, one titled Dragon Nest North America and the other Dragon Nest Sea. This probably gets a little confusing for players. The North American page averages a few likes per post, whereas the Southeast Asian page averages 50 to 100. Both just seem to post updates on maintenance. But based off of this, we can clearly see that the Southeast Asian version of the page, at least, gets dozens of times more likes than the North American version, which means that the active player base is also probably dozens of times more active and probably as large as well. But even a dozen times 16 is barely 200. My next stop was Reddit to see how many total members were there and how many people were actively present during peak hours. 7 people online during peak hours. A total of 3 threads were made over the last week. I mean, that is a clear sign of inactivity from the community, but at the same time, maybe they use public discords and the public discords are more active. Everywhere I seem to look, Dragon Nest is empty. There is a complete absence of activity anywhere, but let's go ahead and take a look at their website, see the content cadence, the events, the updates. A game with no updates, after all, is a game in maintenance mode. And a game in maintenance mode is a game heading towards an end of service announcement. Now, there are 2 different websites, just like there are 2 different Facebook pages, us.dragonnest.com and c.dragonnest.com. Both seem to have similar schedules. However, I do plan on covering the North American version. Since that's where I play from, it's worth pointing out that the C version might feature more content than what is present and released within the NA version, but that's irrelevant for American players. Let's start by going back 12 months to May 2023. Now, there might be a lot of content here to cover. A lot of blog posts were made. Honestly, a lot of blog posts seem to be made every single month, but there are topics that I think are a little bit redundant to cover, so we're just going to omit all of the maintenance topics. They seem to do maintenance every single week. So, disregarding maintenance announcements in May, we have June 2023 patch notes, June 2023 event, and an announcement for a change of schedule for the Dragon buff. June featured their new June 2023 update patch, a special flash sale for the cash shop, and oh, well, that was it for June. July saw the implementation of their July 2023 update patch, along with, oh, that was it. That was the only update for July 2023. Okay. August saw their August 2023 update patch, and the Frozen Dragon Nest Hard Frontier event was cleared. September began with the September 2023 update patch, the 6 years anniversary event recipe recovery notice, and the Korean Thanksgiving Day login event. I didn't even know that Korea had a Thanksgiving Day. Cool. I'm honestly hoping to see some Halloween themed events for October though. They can't not celebrate Halloween in game, right? I feel like every MMO celebrates Christmas and Halloween events, and also Easter and Valentine's Day. Like every month before it, we begin October with the October 2023 update patch, the Lucky Shot web event, and hold on, there's no Halloween event. None? Wait, what? Hold on. Wait, there is a Halloween event for the Southeast Asian region, but no matter how hard I look, I cannot seem to locate one for North America. Is that true? It can't be true, right? Maybe they just don't document the update online. They don't tell you when it's releasing or what's going on in it or when it ends. Or if any of you play the North American version, maybe you can enlighten me. Do they not feature a Halloween event for the North American Dragon Nest server? We then begin November a little bit disappointed with the November 2023 update patch, the conclusion of Season 8 of the Sunset Training Ground contest, and the December 2023 update patch. For some reason, December has to have a Christmas-themed event, though. I swear to Gandhi. Okay, it looks like December does in fact have a Christmas event running from December 23rd through January 1st, thank God. They also happen to have a New Year event for 2024 as well, taking place on the first day of 2024. 2 events within 1 week of one another. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we've been missing over the course of the year. January began with the January 2024 update patch. There was a special sale taking place for cash shop items. Man, not a lot happens in this game, huh? February kicks off with Developer K's New Year letter, which seems about a month late. But I mean, I don't know, maybe he was helping an old lady cross the street. This happens to a friend of mine all the time. Then we have the obligatory February 2024 update patch. I will note that there really does seem to be a lot of issues that transpire after every single maintenance. They should probably take a minute to test these things before they roll them out onto the live servers. We begin March with the March 2024 update patch. Lots of players getting banned. I'm hoping they're not legitimate players, otherwise there'll probably be nobody left to actually play the game. And yeah, moving on to April. April started with the April 2024 update patch, followed by, of course, known issues after maintenance. Like every month, apparently players were also impersonating GMs. I don't know how this could happen. I also don't know why people would actually believe them, but apparently people did believe them and they were reported, which was kind of funny. And then here we are in May 2024 with maintenance, known issues affecting the game after the maintenance happened, and the May 2024 update patch probably releasing at some point in the next 3 days. Honestly, holy crap, Dragon Nest barely gets any work done on it at all, which is very shocking to me. I've done videos on thus far, Soul Worker, Blade and Soul, DC Universe Online, Ion, and like 3 other games this year, and this is by far the most inactive development cycle of any MMO that I've covered in recent memory. I'm genuinely surprised. This was, at one point, such a fun game to play, but it's sad to see how little the devs seem to care. Now, I guess more focus went on to the mobile ports, right? Dragon Nest is absolutely not what players expect in 2024. It is somehow so much worse. As much as people are going to be upset with that revelation, with me stating this publicly. Maybe the Southeast Asian server gets a lot more updates and there's a lot more activity. I don't know. I never played on the C servers. I've also never read anything about the C servers. I wouldn't play on them because the latency issues would prevent me from even enjoying my time in game on the C servers. But if Dragon Nest is not an MMO that is of any interest to you, absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now that might be more up your alley.